Hey everyone, Senraikai here. Today I'm going to be making an update video. So it's been about 4 months, I think, roughly, since my last one. But this one I'm mostly going to be kind of, well, a little bit expanding upon that one because I made some changes, some big changes to the channel last time. So I'll just kind of talk a little bit about how that's been going. So yeah, I pretty much added more Patreon tiers. That was the big thing I did, like the Yandere tier, the one that allows you to get the full anime footage in the corner, the picture-in-picture version, as it's called. I added that in, kind of a test to see how things go. Like I said, it was part of my last-ditch effort to kind of make the Patreon more filled out, more useful. I don't know the best way to describe it, but basically give it a boost and injection. And so far, I'd say that's gone better than expected. Like, I think right about now it's 10 or 11 people at that specific tier. So yeah, overall I would call it a success. I could qualify it as such. The other big difference was the addition to some other tiers, which are like the Patreon sponsored reaction tier, allowing somebody to kind of like go to that tier, say, hey, I really like this show. I want you to watch it. Here's a sack of money. Go do that, please. Those tiers, right, where it varies depending on the length of the series. So I had 2 slots for that. And ever since I had that established, pretty much both slots have been consistently filled. So I think we can safely call that a success as well. So yeah, that's all good. Last episode, last update video. I made it no secret that I'm financially struggling, even though I do have a real job. It's not quite enough to where it needs to be, so I was really hoping my YouTube channel could be that little supplement on top that really helps to smooth things over. And so far, it's been doing an adequate job of that compared to before the changes. But yeah, one big thing that's the main thing that I really have to introduce into this update video. But yes, the big change to the channel is going to be that I'm going to stop reacting to currently airing shows. I've put a lot of thought into this, and pretty much, like, I try to weigh pros and cons to reacting to things as they're airing, and I'll be honest, it's pretty much just cons. I think the only pro is that there's potential for more views because you're reacting to it while it's in the public consciousness, while people are, you're part of that zeitgeist. There's another word for it. Like, you have a chance for more views on that, but like, my channel doesn't get views one way or the other. Like, it doesn't make a big difference. Like, most of my videos do not cross 100 views within the first week of a reaction being up, right? So, even if I got double views or whatever, it's overall not a big difference. So, yeah, it doesn't do much for me, really. Like, there's been some exceptions, for sure. Like, one that really jumps out at me is, I think it's called Princess Connect Redive, I think, something like that. I remember being like blown away at like episode 1 getting over 1,000 views or something within the first week. So there are definitely exceptions, and Uma Musume does pretty well as well. But for the most part, yeah, I can't really rely on that as any kind of deciding factor on that. And of course, the other kind of benefit, I guess, is less chance of being spoiled because, the longer a spoiler exists out in the ethos, the higher chance it'll hit you on just some random forum or whatever in an unrelated conversation to that particular anime. So that's always a concern. But aside from those two, I really couldn't come up with any benefits to doing seasonal anime. And if I was to cut that out and just do shows that are finished, it opens up a lot of new possibilities. For one thing, I could actually schedule reactions, right? Like, because one of the issues I've kind of run into is sometimes, because ideally if you are reacting to seasonal shows as they're watching, you watch it within 24 hours of it coming out, preferably within a few hours of it coming out, right? That's the goal. Because if you miss that 24-hour window, it's the why even bother at that point doing it as it's airing is kind of the overall idea. But yeah, sometimes that causes issues. Like, a good example of this season where that became an issue was Kanojo mo Kanojo season 2. But before I, just fell behind on it in general, it was an issue because it would always come out pretty much too late for me to react to it before I had to get ready and go to work. So the earliest I could usually do it would be the next day, which at that point it just feels like I'm not even reacting to it as it's airing, because it's just so late. But yeah, if I only did shows that are finished, I can record a reaction whenever I have the time to do so, and then schedule it on, let's say, let's say I wanted Kanojo Mo Kanojo to be something I reacted to every Tuesday, right? I could just react to it on Thursday, maybe one on Friday, and just schedule both those on the next Tuesday and the other one on the Tuesday after that. So I could basically just react to things whenever I have the time to, but yet you as a viewer will see it all at a very consistent time. Like, Kanojo Mo Kanojo, 5 p.m. every Tuesday, like clockwork. It doesn't get missed if I'm busy or I just forget to. I suppose it could happen. But just, yeah, allowing myself to just schedule everything can just make it a very clean, overall streamlined experience for everyone. So that's a big benefit right there. Because also just like going on vacation or anything remotely similar, I could just have videos scheduled. So even though I'm gone, the channel stays the same. You still get what you expect on a day, right? So. And that becomes impossible if I watch a show as Aaron. People will just say, "Hey, this is the episode where Yuri Yuri season 7 comes out, and Senraikai didn't post his reaction. What happened?" Right? So it pretty much eliminates any of that. So that would be definitely a big benefit. The other thing I wanted to mention about currently airing shows is, I do like when people say, "Hey, Senraikai, this show's coming out. It's pretty good. It should be up your alley. I think you would love it. You should watch it." And they say this after watching like one episode, maybe two. And, there's a lot of show left, so you can't really say whether or not it's a good show when it's not fully out yet, right? Like, 16-Bit Sensation, Another Layer. A friend of mine really wanted me to watch that show. But at that time, only like one, maybe 2 episodes was out. And he even acknowledged the fact that, from here it could get worse or whatever. But so, if you don't like it, you can drop it later on or whatever. But just watch the first episode. And, of course, later on I found out why he wanted me to watch that episode in particular. But that's the thing. Like, you can recommend me to watch a show, but if it's not finished yet, it's possible it does get worse. And you think to yourself, man, I shouldn't have recommended that to him. It became crap. I feel bad now. I don't know how bad the person would really feel. It's not that big of a deal. But you know what I'm saying. Like, it's just once the show is finished, it feels more like a better position to recommend something, right? So there's that element as well. Of course, a lot of times it's not truly finished. It's just like season 1 is out. A lot of time it will have a season 2 or whatever later on. And usually the manga is still going. So I know calling it complete in this sense is not completely accurate, but it's still more so than just 1 or 2 episodes is out. Right, so that's another reason that I was thinking about. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this update video does tie a little bit into that, but it's the fact of the sheer amount of shows I've just fallen behind on, like a lot. Like stuff this season, stuff last season, the season before that, probably the season before that. So a lot of shows I have fallen behind on. So my plan is to kind of like some of those slots that will be taken up by currently airing shows next season and the season afterwards, I could just use some of those potential slots to kind of catch up on that, right? Starting with catching up on this show, on this season's show, like, The Eminence and Shadow I've fallen behind a lot on. I hope to catch up on that. But also some shows that I fell a little bit on, like, Uma Musume, 16-Bit, stuff like that. Some shows that Kanojo Mo Kanojo I fell behind moderately on. So first thing would be just to catch up on all that stuff after the season end, and then I'll go back a season and catch up on what I fell on that. So that's definitely something I'm going to be doing as well, because that was also starting to annoy me a little bit. Like, a new season will start and I'm like, a little bit behind on the previous season, but I'm like, it's okay. I'll just pick up some shows and just here and there I'll, catch up on that. But that just ends up not happening, so like, so that temptation's gotten rid of if I just like hard cut currently airing stuff out. So, and yeah, because I definitely do not want to develop, I mean, it might be too late, but I do not want to develop a reputation of that guy that just drops everything. Like, I've seen a couple anime reaction channels that have that sort of reputation. People being like, I don't really watch much of the guy's show stuff anymore because he just drops everything. I've seen that directed at a couple other channels. I don't want that to be me. So I do want to just catch up on stuff, because there's some shows from a while ago that I haven't caught up on, like Mighty Mashita Yunamakun, whatever the name of the show is. Because I really like that show, but I definitely fell behind on that, and that was like maybe even a year ago. It was definitely a while ago. But yeah, I do hope to catch up on a lot of stuff. So that's should be one of the benefits of this, is enabling that to happen. There's also when I did finish the Eminence in Shadow season 1, because that was a like a viewer poll result winner. That's why that got selected, and that was supposed to be replaced with another poll winner, but I just got too busy between what I was already reacting to plus my job and everything. I just couldn't fit in actually doing that. And the show that actually won that poll was Shinigami Bochan, I think it's called. So that'll be actually starting to get done as well in the next season, where I'm not reacting to currently airing stuff. So that should be another benefit as well that actually can get rolling, right? But what else? What else did I want to talk about? The thing about currently airing anime is that they don't just disappear from existence when the season ends. They're still out there. So if a show does come out and it does really well, people love it, people think that I'll love it, that can always be watched, later, right? Like I said, I'm gonna keep doing the the polls. People can choose that. I'll still have my personal selection slot as well, where I just pick something that I want to watch. Currently Hidamari sketches that, but so there'll be that. Also, like I said, I do have the 2 slots for Patreon sponsored reactions, and actually I am going to be adding one more slot to that, like a 3rd slot, so opening up more potential for viewers to be able to get me to watch something there. Speaking of the slots, though, because I currently have a Precure slot, Precure, which is meant to watch Precure shows, obviously. Currently, Smile Precure is in that, right? But once I do finish Smile Precure, I decided to cut that slot as well. Like, I do like Precure shows, but, I kind of feel like I've more or less gotten my fill of it. Like, I don't feel like I still like the idea of watching more Precure shows, but I no longer feel the desire to make it that level of a priority to have its own dedicated slot, right? Like, I still hopefully can watch more Precure stuff in the future. Like, again, people can sponsor that or have that on, maybe have that on a poll at some point, or maybe I would even put that on my own personal choice slot. If I do go a while without watching a Precure show and I just feel that desire, I could just choose it for that slot as well. So, but yeah, I think we can just get rid of the Precure slot for now. So that was the other big thing to announce. Of course, that also just frees up more space for other stuff as well, because that kind of segues into maybe the last thing I really want to talk about was kind of wanting to do more stuff on the channel, right? So, because obviously it's been a reaction channel forever, pretty much my YouTube channel, but I never really wanted it to just be that. But I mean, it really has just been that. But I would like to try other things. Like, I've dabbled with that a little bit. Like, the most recent example of that is, of course, my cat girl video. If you haven't seen that, be sure to check that out. 5 reasons why your next girlfriend should be a cat girl, something like that. Because that's a fun video to do. But unfortunately, that kind of video does take a lot of time. The script writing, the recording, the editing, all that good stuff. If you're a full-time YouTuber, yeah, no problem. I could probably knock out 1 or 2 of those a week, but not as a part-time YouTuber with a real job. Just no, especially not if the entire channel is so taken up by reactions. But if I do reduce that a little bit by cutting some slots and cutting out the seasonal stuff, it does leave a bit more room for doing other things, like something like that, or more vlog style videos. Because I think the last one I did on like a vlog kind of style video, was the like a subs versus dubs video I made, which, overall that video was not great. The more I thought about it after I made it, the more I wish I could have done that better. I feel like it could have really benefited from having somewhat of a script on that, but a little bit too late now. But the point is, when I did make that video, my plan was to kind of do that as a bit of a regular thing, just have that sprinkled in, at least once a week, once, twice a week between the reactions, stuff like that. But again, just didn't have time for it. I just had all the reactions I had to pump out. So yeah, hopefully I can cut back on the reaction content a little bit to open myself up to a little bit more stuff like that. I think that could be pretty cool. So that's one of my hopes. I mean, that won't be too much of a thing right away, because like I said, first of all, I have to catch up on reactions. That'll be the priority before I start delving too much into that. But once the shows get all caught up and I do have that extra room for that stuff, hopefully I can do more of that stuff Like, I don't know how much of a desire there is for other stuff on the channel besides reactions, because that's the thing about wanting to try different things when you have established a certain way of doing things. Like, it's just like if a Let's Player suddenly wanted to start writing skit comedy or whatever, like, people are there for the Let's Play. Some people will be encouraging on him wanting to try new things. Other people will be like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I came here for. This man's lost his mind. We gotta do something about this. But yes, that's pretty much how I feel on that. So that it is what it is. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. So I just want to end it off by just kind of reminding you guys how much I appreciate you and the support that you give to the channel, and just how crucial that support is. Like, whether it's in the form of leaving comments, clicking the like button, subscribing, which I know you can only really do that once, but becoming a Patreon supporter. All these things are very important. My channel is not very popular, which can be very discouraging. So the best thing you can do is any of that engagement kind of stuff to make it feel like doing this does have a purpose, that it is worth doing, because everyone does have a limited amount of time in this world that can only be spent on so many things. So the more you do, the more of that you do, the more I feel like this is worth continuing. And if you've got this far into the video, I assume you do want me to continue it. So that's pretty much that, right? So, but yeah, like I said, very, very happy with how the Patreon in particular has developed since then. Yandere tier, the Patreon sponsored reaction slots, all that went better than I could have ever expected, and just I hope you keep it up. I guess that's kind of where my mind's at, because I want to keep doing this. You can help me keep doing this, and I hope you do. I guess that's kind of what I want to say in a nutshell right there. But yeah, like, I'm sure some people will be disappointed on the whole cutting out seasonal reaction stuff, but hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully the form the channel takes in the future is fine, like, because videos will still come out, right? Like I said, I'm adding the Shinigami Bochan stuff in there. But, and of course, anyone that was disappointed at the show from 3 seasons ago that I stopped reacting to will come back. So hopefully some people are happy about that as well. Because anything that doesn't say, like, dropped in the playlist title or last video title should get finished when I get a chance to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.